Throughout the semester, you're going to be researching a number of court cases. So I want to spend a few moments talking to you about how these court cases come to be and what they mean for your life as a teacher. So government passes a law at the federal level, that's the Congress. So initially, that law may look pretty clear. And certainly the people in the government who pass it think that they have written it in a way that everybody will understand what it means. However, if you've ever tried writing directions to somebody else, you know that what seems perfectly clear to you often is not clear to somebody else. So what ends up happening is that a question arises. Does the law prohibit this? Does the law require that? And so somebody takes and files suit saying that they believe the law has been broken. And when that suit is filed, it then goes to the court system. If both parties do not agree on what the first court decides, it can be appealed up to a higher level court, all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. And so the decisions set forth by the United States Supreme Court interpret the laws that exist. They don't write new laws, but the Supreme Court takes and says, well, this is what the law meant, or this is in keeping with the law, or this is not in keeping with the law. And so they help us understand what the nitty-gritty of that law really means. Decisions by the U.S. Supreme Court are considered legal precedent. That means that for all future court cases, judges will take and refer back to those decisions to determine in each situation, is what happened legal or is it not legal? Now, court cases that don't go all the way up the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, and most don't, are decided at sometimes a local court, state court, or a smaller Supreme Court, a lower level Supreme Court. Those decisions are legal precedent, but they are only pending for the jurisdiction in which that decision was made. So, for example, a decision that is made at a district court in Maryland would be considered binding legal precedent for future decisions in that district, but it would not be considered binding legal precedent for a court in California. So why are they important? Well, even though it's not binding for areas outside of that district, lower level Supreme Court decisions and even district court decisions are often cited by judges in other parts of the country when they're making their decisions, because each judge tries to make decisions in keeping with what other judges have said is the way the law should be interpreted. And so it's important to look at these court cases so that we can see how the laws are interpreted as far as what are the legal responsibilities of teachers, what are the legal rights of teachers, and what are the legal responsibilities and rights of students. And so that's why I want you to look at these court cases. Another important thing to remember when you look at court cases is that interpretations of laws are continuously changing. This happens because, one, as people, our opinions and values change and evolve, and so then do our interpretations of the law. Situations change. So, for example, what was meant by the right to bear arms at the time that the U.S. Constitution was written may not apply in today's society in the same exact way because we are not in the middle of a revolutionary war. So we may need to interpret that a little bit differently because the situation has changed. In addition, decisions evolve because new laws are passed that take and clarify or add to the body of legislation that we all have to adhere to. And so when you're looking at legal precedents, the one that is the most binding, the one that you want to look at the most, is the one that's the most recent. Sometimes you'll see there will be an early decision that we'll look at in this class that says one thing, and then a very recent decision that says something totally different. In that case, it's important to know the early decision to know the history behind it. But what is legally binding now is the most recent decision.